Sprouts, it's me, your favorite impulsive shopper, Onion, and today I wanted to talk to you about my debt payoff journey. Yay! I finally paid off my credit card. I'm so proud of myself. That's why I've been doing all these no-buy and low-buy and shimmy-shamming and flick-a-flacking all over the place because I had a pretty fat balance on my credit card. Womp womp. No bueno. Do not recommend adding a lot to your credit card, especially when you don't have a flatline regular job like I didn't. I mean, I feel like these days no jobs are regular jobs, so like do with that what you will. Because even if you think you have a regular job, do you really? Do you know that for sure? I don't mean to give you anxiety. I don't mean to make you like me. Don't be like me. Don't be anxious like me. But maybe have another job. But yeah. How far back do I want to go? When I got my first credit card a while ago. And I'm pretty good about credit cards. I've been watching financial literacy stuff since I was a young baby. I love watching financial literacy, informational, educational topic videos. I love being educated. It's one of my favorite things. I love little facts and little trades. And also, I love making the right choices. Making lucrative, responsible choices. I love getting ahead in life. I love optimizing and being efficient. Right? So, I have had a credit card for ever. Probably since I was like 18 or something like that. For a long time. And I was pretty good about paying it off. Like sometimes it would get a little crazy and then I would be able to pay it off over a certain amount of time. But it hadn't gotten like super crazy. The one time that it got like super duper crazy was because I live in America. I live in America. And if you know something about America, our healthcare isn't free, especially the parts of your body that are not parts of your body according to our healthcare system, as in your teeth and your eyes. So I had to get a root canal. It was $3,000. I did not have $3,000. I needed this root canal. So it took me about a year to get that paid off. But that was probably the biggest balance that I had ever held on a credit card because I got like a healthcare credit card. I hate it here. I hate it here. But no. This time was due to all of the rigmarole that has been happening in the acting industry, in the film industry. I got into a slump. I used my credit card to make me have food, to get me yarn. And that's about it. Emergencies and yarn. That was basically what I was using my credit card for at the time. I did not have a job. I was trying my best to find a job. I could not find a job at all. Any of my jobs that were going on, like any of the film positions that I had, were dried up. This was right after the writer's strike and everything. So there was nothing. Drink some water. There was nothing. So I was at a time in my life, this was maybe 4 years ago now, 3 years ago, maybe, that I started having a crazy balance on my credit card. And it did not help that I lived really close to a yarn store and I could not help myself from buying yarn. And I was traveling with my parents a lot at this time, and I was getting a lot of yarn. And I was doing this YouTube channel and hoping that it would become a money-making venture. It was not. It still isn't. But, we could all change that by subscribing to this channel and liking this video. Because your like and subscribe costs you nothing, but it costs me my free labor, which hopefully will not be free for a very long time. Here's for hoping. But, yeah, it was a very rough patch of my life. I hate holding a balance on my card. I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate not being able to pay off my card because I know that is, I hate like number go down, credit score go down. All of that. Every part of it was like racked against my brain being like, stop, no. But also, how are you supposed to pay for your food? How are you supposed to buy food if you have no money? How are you supposed to fill up your car if you have no money? You still gotta go places, especially if you have a job, but you have no money because you're paying off things. You still gotta do stuff. And so it was kind of just a catch-22 time of my life for the past couple years. And I decided that I was going to cut back a lot on all the things that I was buying. It helped my cutting back, but it doesn't help the world that all these corporations decided to show their bare booties to us, which they were sharing all of their secrets previously, but they just made it more blatant and wild within the past couple of years. So it was easier for me to be like, you know what, I'm not spending money on these people, on these places, on these things. But my culprit is definitely ethical made things. It is giving money to small businesses. It is supporting my friends and the things that they make. That is my kryptonite. I will spend my last dollar helping my friend out reach their goals because I love my friend and I have bad boundaries for myself, which I am working on. I am actively working on that. So, getting to me paying off my dollar bills. It got to about $4,000, over $4,000. My credit card limit is about $4,000, and it was over that amount, which do not recommend. Do not recommend. I know it's not the hugest number in the world, but it was too big for me. I was filled with anxiety constantly. I was like, I can't live like this. This is no way for a person to live. It was too much for me, for my anxiety, for my numbers brain. And I, like I said, started taking steps to be like, no, we're going to not do this anymore. Or we're just going to like cut back way as much as possibly can. Like, yes, every now and again as a treat, you could do something. But doing something every weekend, not going to happen. We're not doing that. So that's why I had to cut back on all the yarn tour videos. That's why I had to cut back on all the thrifting videos as well, because I would go a little crazy in the paint with the thrifting stuff, which now almost all of my stuff that I've thrifted is gone. Like, I've slimmed down my closet so much. I'm still slimming down my closet like one piece at a time. I have like 3 pieces right now in a bag in my car that I need to take to the thrift store because I'm like, these don't look how I want it to look on my body. I don't feel confident and colorful and beautiful and stunning when I put them on. So they don't need to be in my house if they're not giving what they need to be giving. Exactly. So, yeah, I decided to cut back a lot. And once I did, I also decided to try and get income any way that I could, legally. I was working odd jobs. Whenever my friends would ask me to work, I would be like, yes, let me try and get some money. Sorry guys, I just got out of bed. Had a late night last night, doing a show for a friend and got paid for that. So I was doing whatever I could to try and make extra supplemental income to whatever I was doing at the time. I worked at all kinds of retail places with all kinds of people. Actually, a big help was me working at the theater that I worked at, because I was working as a staff member at the theater, and I was also working as an actor at the theater, which was hard. Was hard, but in the end got me to this place where I can say I paid off my credit card, which I am pretty proud of myself for being able to say that out loud for sure. Like, I've been looking at my bank account, I've been opening it up, and I'm like, it says 0.00. It says $0.00 in that credit card. It feels nice. It does feel quite nice. Now, I do want to say that I am in a privileged position for sure. One, I had parents who were willing to house me during this time of my life, especially the beginning of it, when I had no money. When I needed food, sometimes they would get it for me. That's pretty good. Like I said, I was able to jump from job to job to job to job. There was definitely fat periods of time where I didn't have a job and I was just doing YouTube, and you can go back and watch those YouTube videos where I was cranking away. I made like 27 things last year because of exactly that. I had a lot of time on my hands, and I am privileged because I have a partner now who takes very good care of me, and that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't know how much he wants me to say. But I am very privileged in my position that I was able to pay off this debt within the time matter that I did. I also am privileged because I do live near to and now inside of a city. I live in Atlanta. If you don't know, if you're new to the channel, again, subscribe. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, so I am right near a city. Cities are definitely easier to find jobs in. At the beginning of this, I did not live in a city. I lived in the suburbs of Atlanta. I'm going to call it the burbs of Atlanta because everything's a burb of Atlanta. Augusta is a burb of Atlanta, and it's really not. But, I lived in the suburbs of Atlanta, and it was so hard to find a job. So hard to find a job. It was like nobody. I would apply to so many different things. And this wasn't like this year or last year. This was like 3 to 4 to 5 years ago that I was like, where's the money, bruh? Where is it? Where is the money? I can't find the money. Yeah, but then, of course, like I said, I got my theater job, and doing double duty of being in the shows and working at the theater, it gave me a little extra padding on my bank account that I was able to switch over into my high yield savings account, and it rolled over. It really didn't give me a lot of interest, but every penny counts, and I was able to pay it off. Now, I really like putting my savings into a high yield savings account because, one, like I said, it makes money for you. It accrues interest over time. I use Amex high yield savings account. It's really great. I really do enjoy it. I've had it for a couple years now, and it has worked for me. But please use whatever high yield savings account appeals to you. I highly recommend it. I also liked using a high yield savings account that was separate from my bank because I need the separation. I need to be like, oh, it's going to take 5 days for this money to hit my bank account. Like, it's going to instantly go from my paycheck to this account. But it's going to take some time if I need to be like, ooh, I need an extra $100 for a pair of shoes. You don't need an extra pair. You don't need no shoes. You don't need no shoes. Okay? You don't need none. Not me. I'm talking to myself. I don't know about you. You might need some shoes. But I know myself. I know my closet. I don't need no shoes. So I didn't need no extra $100 to be taken out of my savings account when I was saving up this money to be able to do the things that I needed to do. And I was definitely using this emergency savings account for this high yield savings account as like emergency fund / like future fund for me. And it was really good to be able to have it automatically taken away from my paycheck before I could even see it. It just automatically gets sent over there. I do love automation. It's really nice to set it and forget it. Almost everything I use is set it and forget it. Like my car payment is set it and forget it. Like I have like my car payment account is separate from my regular banking account, which is separate from my... I like those walls. I like the separation. I like having all the hoops to jump through in order to get the money back, because I don't need to be having all that money in my bank account, especially because banks, especially the bank that I have, is a bad bank and it supports big oil. So I really try to not have a lot of money in that bank account at all, which made it even worse when I had that fat behind credit card balance deluxe, making me be like, oh, I owe these nasty people this money. I didn't want to do that. That's not what I want to be doing. So this comes at another impasse point that I want to talk about, which is the political economic system that is happening in America and globally, because America's decisions impact the entire world. From an American to everybody else, I am so sorry. I did not vote for this. But still, in the same breath, I am sorry you have to put up with our bullshit. I'm sorry. So, we probably know that there is a conflict, a war happening in Iran right now with the United States. And it has impacted the entire globe due to the Strait of Hormuz being locked up. They won't let me out. So, all the gas and fuel and oil is not going through. It's not happening. It's not ripping and running and going and shaking like it's supposed to be going. Like it formerly was, because it will never return to what it was before, which is going to change the landscape of the economy, of honestly the world forever. So yeah. So with that being said, my fiance and I are getting married this year. Yay, yay, yay. That's gonna be so awesome. We're so excited. But we were just going to go on our honeymoon. No wedding, because weddings are expensive and we had debt. We didn't want to accrue more debt onto our wedding plans. So, and plus, like, honestly, we got engaged, and then my mom literally the next day was like, so what plans do you want to start for your wedding planning? And I was like, no. I don't want to do that. That sounds like stressful. My life is already stressful, and it doesn't sound like fun stress. Plus, I have a lot of, like, religious trauma and stuff. So, like, some of the things about weddings are kind of like, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. Which, I mean, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do a whole wedding in the first place. So that's kind of the option that we went with for now until we get enough money so that we can feel comfortable enough to have a big fanfare wedding. And also, I have 40 cousins. Y'all are learning a lot about me this episode. I have 40 cousins or more. Like, I'm not exaggerating. My dad is one of 10 children, and most of his siblings have kids. So, yeah. And then I am one of 5. So, yeah, like, even with, and then my fiance is one of 3. So even with just our families, like, we're talking about going to the courthouse and maybe having like a dinner afterwards. Even with just our families, we were counting it up the other day. It's going to be more than 20 people, just our immediate family. Just mama, papa, brothers, sisters. That's it. Not even grandma, grandpa. And we only have grandmas at this point. So, yeah, it was going to be a lot of money. And I'm already an anxious person. So, we said no to the whole wedding thing for now. No. And, as Daggerheart Rules would say, we also looked upon the horizon after Trump got elected again, and we're like, oh, this is gonna be a little crazy. This is gonna be a little bit of a wild time in our lives, especially as young adults in America and in the South specifically, because we all know how the South is. If you know anything about the South, you know about the South. So we decided, after waiting with bated breath and seeing how all of these things were going to line up with all the moving and shakings of the socio-political economic realm, that we will not be going to Japan this year, that we will be taking basically a staycation or a domestic flight vacation around these here United States. We might go on an Alaskan cruise or something, because he went on one and he said it was a hell of a time, and we're both like mentally grandparents already, so I can just get on a nice boat and sit inside and look at whales and knit, because I know there's a knit group on that Alaskan cruise. I know it. I know for sure there's a knit group. I know for sure there's a knit group on the Alaskan cruise. And I've never been on a cruise before, so it will be cool. It will be nice. Or we're going to go to California and go to Disneyland, because as a former Disney employee and just a Disney adult, semi, kind of, a little bit. You see my ears? My ears are right there. I made it a mission, a bucket list, to go to all of the parks at some point. I've been to 2, and the 2 that I've been to is the one that I worked at and Disneyland Paris. I haven't even been to the other one that is in the continental U.S. So it would be nice to go to that one at some point. And we also have a friend that lives over there in California. So yeah, that's probably what the plan is going to be. Instead of going to Japan this year, we're trying to save up again, because if you're not connecting the dots, I used my ticket money to be able to, what was going to be my Japan ticket money, I used that to pay off my credit card, because I had half of what I had, about $2,200 $2,200 left on my credit card to pay off, and I had about $3,000 saved in my high yield savings account. So I just took that chunk and put it over there. And yeah, now it has worked out. Everything is good. I am happy with that decision. Talked over with my fiance just because I like him knowing the stuff that is happening in my head so that when I have a scrouched up face, like, he can know what's going on and not be like, what's that about? What's that? What's going on over there? What's happening with that one? My wife. So yeah, I'm taking that. I already took that money to pay for that money, and we are going to take a smaller trip this year, probably. If we don't go all the way out to California or we do an Alaskan cruise, we are probably going to go to like Savannah or New York, somewhere on the East Coast. The radius gets smaller and smaller as the days of this war and weeks of this war continue forth. It's so weird not wearing a necklace right now. My whole titty's out. At least with a necklace, I'd be protected. This one actually hurts me, so I'll wear it for like 3 seconds, because it actually stabs me pretty bad. Let's see. Now it's not trying to work. Okay, I figured it out. There we go. That's much better. Okay, now I am clothed. But yeah, that is what is happening with that. I am so, like, my anxiety has gone down remarkably before paying off my credit card, and just like in general in life. My anxiety has been through the roof lately. We are thinking that it might be my birth control, but we don't know. It is a symptom of the birth control that I take, of major anxiety and depressive episodes. And, I already have something. I already have a little dib-dab dake of something going on in this cabeza. So it doesn't help that hormones are acting out. On top of that, hormones that are not even mine. Hormones given upon me artificially. I have no problems with hormones at all. Hormones are fine as long as they're in a good dose where it doesn't make you go crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. Yeah, I feel really consoled, calmed, that is one less thing that I have to worry about. That one less thing that I have to like keep tabs on in here is that credit card. And now I can do other stuff with my time. Think about other things, happy things, lovely things. Think on lovely things. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little chat with you guys. This is like my second like knit and chat video that I've done in like 2 weeks. So y'all are learning a lot more about me than I even thought that I was going to put on this channel, and I still might not. I haven't decided yet. But it's really nice being able to talk to the camera and get some of all this craziness out of my head and somewhere else where I can process it outwardly. I do like to journal a lot. I have been journaling more, so that's nice. Maybe I'll talk more about my yarn collection and stuff and how I feel about it. I did give myself a little gift, so I maybe get some more yarn, but at a very good price. Very, very good price. So yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video. Thank you for listening and taking the time to listen to me. My voice is jank. Like I said, I had a very late night doing a show last night. ASMing, assistant stage managing for all of you non-theater kids for a show for my friend who was the stage manager that needed a fill-in. So I had like 1 day of rehearsal and then I had to do it. But, you know, I'm a fast learner. I retain information pretty well. That is one thing that I have learned about myself over the years that I am pretty good at. So, yeah, I think I'm just gonna take more opportunities to be confident about the things that I am good at and know that probably some mediocre white man is saying and doing the exact same things that I'm doing and is making way more money than I am. And that's the truth. All right, I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you so much for sitting and listening to me ramble my face off. I really enjoy talking with you guys, talking with you and seeing what you have to say. So please, if you like the video, please like it down below. And if you really like the video, please leave me a comment down below telling me how you feel, how, like, what are you doing, what are your goals. It doesn't have to be financial goals. It could be your knitting goals, your crafting goals, your 2026 goals, like your fitness goals, your like gardening goals. Cause I do be doing a garden. I do be a gardener now. Whatever goals you have, I would love to know what you are up to. And if you are working on a project while I am talking to you, what project are you working on? Because I obviously need more projects. My dog is scritching himself. Let me see. I don't think you can see him. But I need to find out what I'm going to do with all this yarn. And you guys are a great help. So, I love you guys. I hope you have a blessed one. And if you don't want to have a blessed one, then please have a athlete's foot, button your underpants. Lit one. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye!